I recently got back from SEMA, the big car show out in the desert. And while they had a lot of really cool cars this year, the coolest stuff I think I saw was a lot of the new shop tools and a lot of the shop organization things they had out there. Which led me, after I got back, to order this. This is called OmniWall. It is a pegboard system, and I ordered just enough to handle this part of my garage because really, I've been working on my garage for a while and I'm not super happy with how my little power tool organizer came out. And when I saw OmniWall at SEMA, I knew it was gonna be expensive because it was really nice stuff. And yeah, it cost me $580 for enough OmniWall to cover this part of my garage. And it did sound expensive. I knew it was expensive. I told my brother what I had done, and he, rather than being supportive, he pointed out that a 4x8 sheet of pegboard from Home Depot is only $20. Well, crap. This stuff better be made out of gold. Whether or not this was a good investment, we'll save that for later in the video once it's all installed. First, I'm going to get everything unboxed. I'm going to see what I ordered because it's been a while since I ordered it. It comes in lots of different colors. I think I did like red and gray to kind of match. Nothing in here is red and gray. But really, this little area of my garage, I redid it recently. I put these cabinets in, had some spare space, and I'm just not too happy with how this turned out. These are just some cheap Amazon, Jeff Bezos-y hangers for tools and stuff. And I've got to keep my little wimpy batteries on the tools because, yeah, it can't handle that. So we're gonna open these up. We're gonna see what's inside. We're gonna figure out how they go together. We're gonna clean all this out. We're gonna install the OmniWall, and then we're gonna see if it was worth the almost $600 that I paid for it. I'm hoping yes. We have everything unpacked and laid out and our area cleared and ready to work on, and we have run into a little bit of a situation. So before I ordered all these parts, I measured, and it was really weird, coincidental, that the area I had to work with, the panels fit perfectly. And they maybe fit a little too perfectly. I have a space enough to do 4 panels side by side, and the height was just great. It wasn't measured out. I think I just got lucky where I put things. There is a problem though. The way these panels install is you have a bracket that bolts to the wall. One part bolts up here, another part bolts down there, and then once that is on, you take a little plastic clip like what you'd find in a car, and it goes through a little hole down here that goes into the top and the bottom of the panel. So our problem, if you can't see this already, becomes when this is on the wall, I don't have enough space to get these plastic clips in the top and definitely down the bottom. So we have a couple of options. The options are we can take this countertop off to get some space and then reinstall it, or we can raise these cabinets up a few inches. I don't know, I can't remember how these are installed. I think there's like a rail system I put on the wall and these sit on the rail. So it might be easier just to raise these up a couple inches. And I had just painted this wall before I put this stuff in, and I completely destroyed this wall putting that pegboard in. So I'm gonna fill some holes, move these cabinets up, get the panels installed, and then it's time for garage organization. And I really, like, why did I order red and silver? Nothing else in here is like, I should have gotten orange or yellow to match my tools. Whatever, we're gonna move some cabinets, get back to work. Good news, my OmniWall is installed. And I installed some super low quality, incredibly cheap Amazon LED lights to light things up on my OmniWall. And I'm using these new lights to put together some pros and cons about what I think about this OmniWall. And honestly, the cons are pretty easy. The pros, kind of hard to come up with. Let's start with the pros. Number one, there's a lot of different options for OmniWall. If you have a wood shop or a metal shop or an auto detail shop or whatever you have, they have some sort of solution for you. You take a look at their website, there's all sorts of different adapters and angle adapters and different mounts, and you can customize this pretty much however you want. So that's definitely a pro. Another pro, this stuff is pretty high quality. It's, we'll talk about assembly in a minute, but just, it's thick steel. It doesn't warp. I was hammering on this stuff pretty good to install it, and nothing scratched, nothing dented. It's, I don't know if it's painted or if it's powder coated, but it's steel and it is thick, and it's pretty high quality, a little thicker, a little more high quality than I would have thought. And our last pro is the seams. These things butt up and line up pretty good, which that means if you had an entire wall, if you literally wanted to do an entire garage wall in this stuff, you could put it all right next to each other and not have an issue with any little brackets fitting across a seam, which with a big sheet of pegboard, that's kind of tricky. You have to cut it just right if you want to butt two pieces up next to each other and have them still work. And then some competitors for OmniWall, I've read that the seams don't work out that great. And that's a benefit because even your regular pegboard hooks, they work with the little system that they have there. Everything just lines up. Let's move on to the cons now. And the first con is installation. So I ordered two different kits. I ordered a power tool, power wall charging station, which was one panel with a power strip and this tool holder and I think a couple of these little brackets. And then the second kit I ordered was just like a general garage kit. It was actually 3 panels and some more little brackets, little holders, things like that. And the instructions I got were just super generic. And I'm not one really to read instructions, but for things like this power strip adapter, I had no idea how it was just a box with a power strip and various parts and no instructions. So I wound up going online and finding videos and finding some videos on their website that explained things like how it comes with a power strip with a 10-foot extension cord, which was interesting because this happened. Huh. That's so weird. I never knew I was 10 feet tall. Yeah, definitely not 10 feet. But then I basically just wound up getting some of my own double-sided tape that was supposed to come in the kit and figuring out how to get this mounted. And then also, it's not super easy to install unless you have a lot of space and unless your studs are perfectly lined up. I measured everything out. 4 panels were supposed to fit perfectly, and they would have, but you need space on the top and on the bottom for these little plastic plugs. So I had to take my shelves down and then mount them and then get the clips in. And then when I was done, I decided I was gonna mount my shelves higher because I wanted clearance to actually get the panels off the wall if I ever needed to. So I wound up having to move my shelves for the pegboard system that was supposed to fit perfectly. And I even had to mount it on some boards because my studs were not perfectly lined up. And that was a pain. Con number two is the quality. It's good heavy duty steel and good paint or powder coating. And that's a lot better than what I was working with before. Things aren't flexing and falling apart. But for what I paid, I wasn't expecting like NASA space shuttle engineering or German sedan engineering, but I wasn't expecting this. It's crap. For the most part, things lined up, fit perfectly, but just some brackets didn't fit. A lot of these little plugs didn't fit. Again, I wasn't expecting a spaceship, but I was kind of at least expecting Legos, considering that this was pretty expensive. Con number 3, price. Yes, price. And dare I also say customer service. So everything I ordered normally with shipping with tax, I think I said was about $600. But when I ordered it, it was 20% off. And so I placed an order, I got a discount, and 2 weeks later, it still hadn't shipped. And 2 weeks later, they were having a better sale. I think it was 25 or 30% off. So I sent the company OmniWall, I sent them an email. This came from OmniWall, not some third-party seller. I sent them an email and I said, hey, I see you're having a better sale. Can I get that better price since my product hasn't shipped? Or could I just cancel my order and reorder it at the better price? And they never responded, but the next day my order was marked as shipped, but it wasn't shipped. I checked the tracking number and it still didn't ship for another week. This took almost a month to show up and it went on sale halfway through when it showed up. So OmniWall, you owe me like 50 bucks. Not only do you owe me 50 bucks, but the prices, they are straight up ridiculous. I would like to get one more of these power tool brackets. I could probably make things a little more efficient if I had 4 more slots here for drills and drivers and things. But this bracket alone, if it's not on sale with tax and shipping, is about $60. That's three sheets of pegboard for one bracket. So yes, it's heavy duty steel and it's not the worst to install. You can get it installed if you take your time. But for the price, for what I paid, buy pegboard and buy some little pegs and just spend the rest of the money on more tools. Do you want fancy pegboard or do you want more tools? I want more tools. These lights are super, super low quality. That's it, that's the story on OmniWall. I did it. I would not do it again. I would save my money and just buy regular pegboard. But my garage transformation is almost done. I've got some lights to install. I've got some power outlets to put in. And then the garage that I've spent months, almost a year now, completely renovating is almost done. I know Steven's working on finishing up his brand new gorgeous shop. And so maybe one day we'll actually get back to working on cars around this YouTube channel. But until then, I'm going to go inside and think about all the tools I could have bought instead of pegboard. Bye.